Hey guys, I'm Elle, and today I'm going to talk about the Rory Gilmore reading challenge. So Rory Gilmore next to Hermione were my two role models when I was growing up. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who experienced that, but I just remember wanting to be just like them. And especially like Rory, because I was very similar to her. I liked books, I wanted to study journalism, I made very poor decisions but went back on track eventually. I saw myself in her in so many ways. And even my dad says that I'm very similar to Rory. So I think it's just his way of saying that I drink too much coffee, which I do. These are the books that Rory mentions or read in the series. I believe that there are more than 300 books with a wide variety of genres and characters and authors. From those 300 books, I read almost 90 books, which, you know, is not even half of the books, but it's not bad either. So I selected 10 books that I'm really excited to read. It's mostly like a TBR. I want to read all of the books in the reading challenge, but I'm not going to force myself to either. And at the same time, I'm not going to put a time limit for this challenge because I'm doing another challenge this year, which is the 52 books around the world. And I'm also not going to read more than 200 books in a year. So this is going to be an ongoing challenge. These are the books that are going to be my priority. The first one is Atonement by Ian McEwan. It's about a girl who sees a moment of flirtation between her sister and the son of the servant, and that makes her commit a crime that is going to change everybody's life. So I watched this movie for Atonement years ago and I just keep thinking about it, and I don't know, it just sounds like my kind of book, especially because I love reading from World War II. I think there are so many stories to be told. Then I want to read Beloved by Toni Morrison. This is about a woman who was a slave but managed to escape to Ohio, but she can't seem to put those memories in the past. So I read The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. It was one of the first books that made me think about diversity, and it made me think about the different ways people act around the world, and I remember that it just opened my mind so much. I read The Bluest Eye years ago, so I think it's time for another Toni Morrison book. Then I want to read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. So I have this copy of A Brave New World, which is translated as A Happy World, and my sister gave this book to me like a year ago, I think. I keep forgetting to read it, but not now. I'm going to read it now. You know, it's one of the 3 dystopians that you are supposed to read. It's there with 1984 and Fahrenheit 451. This takes place in a future where people are really happy, but they also have taken human values that are so important for the construction of a person, and obviously there is a guy who escapes that, and he's the only one who can break free. Then I want to read Daughter of Fortune by Isabel Allende. This is about a girl who is an orphan and was raised in Chile. When she's older, she falls in love with this guy who then leaves to look for his fortune in California, and she, who is pregnant with his child, decides to follow. Well, Isabel Allende is one of my favorite writers of all time. She's just a brilliant writer and has such a way with words that I always devour her books, and I read quite a few books from her and I need to go back to them, and it sounds really like something that Isabel Allende would write. Then I want to read The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. This is about a boy who I believe has autism, and one day the neighbor's dog gets killed and he makes it his mission to solve this murder. I think I saw this book everywhere at some point. I think everyone was reading it and I don't know why I haven't yet. I think I've heard really mixed reviews about it. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm definitely going to try it. Then I want to read Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen. I believe this is an autobiography book about Susanna Kaysen's time in a psychiatric hospital and everything she experienced there, but I believe it's a little bit fictionalized. I think it's that, correct me if I'm wrong. Lately, I've just been seeing this book everywhere. I don't know why, it's just like the universe is telling me to read it. So yeah, I'm going to listen to the universe. Let's blame the universe always. Then I want to read Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. This tells the story of 3 generations of a Greek-American family and Cal, who has a guilty secret that differentiates her from the other girls. I love Jeffrey Eugenides, but the only thing I read from him is The Virgin Suicides, but I adore that book. It's one of my favorite books. I just believe that his writing and his prose is so gorgeous. Then I want to read Reading Lolita in Tehran by Asar Nafisi. This is a memoir about a teacher in Tehran that secretly gathers 7 girls, students, to read Western classics. Honestly, this is one of the most exciting books that I have in my list. I really want to see what these girls think about these classics. And then I want to read a book that has been very popular lately in booktube, and that is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is about a guy who owns a bookshop, and he finds this book that is called The Shadow of the Wind, and that book changed his life. I've heard so much about this book, like everyone is going crazy about it and everyone is saying how amazing it is, but I haven't read it yet because I don't know if I want to read it in English or in Spanish. I don't know, I will see. It's so stupid. I think I'm going to read it just in Spanish. And the final book that I want to read is Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. This is about a guy who moves to Paris from New York and his adventures in trying to learn French. Honestly, before reading this list, I've never heard about this book, but it just got my attention because I love reading fiction about people learning another language, just because it's something that I can relate to, especially French, which is kind of a tricky one. So yeah, those are the books that I want to read from the Rory Gilmore challenge. I mean, it's not all the books that I want to read, the books that I'm most excited to read. I'm going to leave the challenge in the description in case you want to check it out. In case you do check it out, let me know how many books have you read from this list, and I would like for Rory Gilmore to read more YA because I read it faster. Anyway, that's everything for today. Hope you liked this. If you did, subscribe, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!